Hey everyone, welcome back to Court Farms for the second episode in our Let's Play series. So we are now into September and it's a bit of a misty start of the day. Looking, we've got a high of 17 degrees, so not too bad, with sun on the forecast as well. So yeah, last time we harvested our first two fields, we did linseed and wheat. So those are all harvested. So as I mentioned in the last episode as well, the plan for today is going to be cutting our two grass fields. So we've got field 54 and 55, both next to the main farmyard. So we will need to go and get some equipment to be able to mow the grass. We're going to ted one of the fields for hay, and then we're going to bale up and wrap the other one for silage bales. So that gives us the option to get cows in the future. So there's field 54 just down there. One other thing I did, I moved the straw bales that I'd put in this shed just because it was a bit awkward. So I've put those in the covered bunker silo, which you may have just seen as we walked around. Yeah, I've put those in there because I'm not going to use this bunker silo this year. And we will do some like silage in the clamp at some point. But I thought for now we'll just keep the bales in there. So first thing we're going to need to do is jump in the JCB and head up to the store so we can get some mowing equipment and we can get some grass cut. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention in the first episode was the loan system. So I do have the actual loan system mod enabled. So when I started on farm manager mode, we started with 1.5 million cash. So I've added the loan into 1 million, which is the most I could actually set it to. Because the loan system mod means you have to take out a length of term that you're going to repay the loan over. So I think I chose 5 years. So we've got 5 in-game years to pay the loan off. And if I just go into the menu and show you. So this is the new loan system with the mod. So we've currently got a loan of 1 million. So that's pretty much the most I could actually set it to. Interest rate 3.5%. And our monthly repayments are 18,456 with a period of 60 months. So we've made our first payment at the end of August. So we've got a remaining loan of 984,459. We can actually make payments whenever. We can just pay off chunks whenever we feel like the need, but this payment always goes out. It's not as if I have to just come in and pay it. This is automatically taken at the end of every month. So we'll always need to make sure we've got enough money to cover that, otherwise we'll end up in the negative. And we're not going to be able to do much if we've got no money. We'll not be able to buy seed fertilizer, so we could come stuck where we can't work any of our fields. So what we're going to do is get some mowing equipment. And so we go mowers. I think just because we don't have a huge amount of money left at the moment, I need to decide whether to actually buy the equipment or just lease it for now. We will probably be using the mowers again though before the end of the year to do like a late autumn cut, maybe for a bit more silage. So we could go for something like the Nova Disc, which is 8,500 for a 3.5 meter rear mower. It's not the largest of mowers, but it will probably do for us. And I think we probably can afford to buy that for now. So we'll buy that because we could always use it for some contract work as well. And then if we get the front mower, trying to think if the 2.6 will be wide enough. Whether that's going to be too narrow on the front of the JCB. We could go for that one. That's going to be 3.1 meters, 13,500, which is only slightly more than that one. So we'll get that as well. So there's the two mowers. So we're going to need a tedder and a wind rake. a windrower, a rake windrower, combining the two words there. And I think I may just lease the rest of the equipment now because I do want to keep some money obviously for the loan. So we'll lease this. That's going to be 1,310 to lease that. Then we want a tedder. Where has tedder's gone? I'll put these in alphabetical order and I can still never find anything. We'll go with the Krona from the hay and forage pack. We'll lease that as well. One I've not used before. So we've got mowers, we've got a rake, and we've got the tedder. So we can cut the grass, rake it, and we can ted it for hay. And we've got the baler so we can bale up the hay. So we're just going to need to get a bale wrapper. Which is, where's the bale wrappers gone? And for this one, I'm going to try the Govil because I haven't actually used this one yet. I'll go with black, yeah, black wrapped bales. And I'm going to put the... I think our fields are, the two grass fields are fairly flat, so I don't think we need to worry about the bale end turner. Because that just adds a bit more to the extra cost as well. So we'll lease that as well. So we've still got 124,000 left. So we spent 22,000 on the mowers and then 3,580 on leasing the rest of the equipment. Not ideal. I would like to have bought all of it, but with that loan system it's going to make life a little bit more challenging. So first job's going to be to get the mowers down to the farm so we can start cutting our grass. Okay, so back down to the main farm and we'll do field 54 first and then we'll do 55. I was hoping to possibly get a second tractor, like a smaller tractor, which I may still do now because it would be handy to have a smaller tractor and a second tractor as well. So we'll open up both the gates and that way then I can possibly get the headlands cut on the second field and then leave a work to finish cutting that while we then start tedding this field, just to help get things done a little bit quicker. That's one of the reasons as well why I wanted to lease the rest of the mowing equipment, just so we've got a little bit of money for a small tractor. I did live stream in between the last two episodes, or the last episode and this one. So I did a couple of contracts, so our money did go up a little bit just to try and help cover that loan payment. So we did a couple of harvesting contracts, although we did have a problem where I was short on linseed by about 9,300 litres. So we'll get these unfolded. Get our beacon switched off because we don't need those on, and I will shut the gate because no doubt it will be in the way. Let's get the mowers switched on. Get those lowered down and we'll start doing our first grass cutting on Court Farms. I keep saying go to say Court Calmsden. Yeah, it's definitely not Calmsden. I think this is another level to Calmsden. Calmsden was a very nice looking map, but I didn't overly enjoy it on my own because there was a lot of big fields on. I much prefer this one with a lot of smaller fields, a lot more manageable on your own. But Calmsden was a really nice looking map as well, but this is just, I think Oxy's just taking it to the next level with this one in terms of visuals. So yeah, if you've played the map yourself or you've patiently waiting on console, let me know in the comments. It'd be interesting to hear what your opinions of it from what you've seen so far. Well, the last little bit of this field to cut. It's not been too bad with these mowers. Though it's a bit tricky with the offset mowers because the enhanced vehicle control doesn't really do an offset. Or at least I haven't figured out how to offset the lanes. So I've kind of just been doing it manually. So some of the lines aren't perfectly straight, but they'll do. So we'll probably TED this field and do this one for the hay. So what I'm considering doing is finishing this one. I'm going to probably go and cut the headlands of the next field. And then I can set a worker off to finish mowing the main bulk of it. And then we can head up to the store and get a small tractor that we can then use for tedding windrowing. And that way then we can get a worker to do some of the jobs. So once we've finished tedding the first field, we could possibly then get a worker to rake that up while we then follow around with a baler, possibly. So yeah, it gives us a few more options. Okay, so we're now out to the store. A slight change of plan as I started mowing the headlands and got a bit carried away and ended up cutting the entire field myself. I was enjoying myself far too much, so I ended up just carrying on. So both grass fields are fully cut now, and so one's ready to be tedded, one's ready to be raked up for silage. We just park up over here. Hopefully we're not going to be in the way. And we'll go and see if we can get this second tractor. I'll say small tractor. It's in the small tractor category, the one I want to get. There's two different options and I'm not sure which one to get between the two. It's a tractor I've wanted to use for a while and I've never actually got a chance to. So we've got the 51 7610 Force 3 by John Deere 2450 Matt XJS. So this one's up to 105 horsepower, which I think for a small tractor 105 horsepower is more than enough. Don't think we really need to go any more than that. That's going to be 46,000, but the other option is the slightly the 7810, which standard comes in at 105 and is actually 44,000, so it's 2,000 cheaper than the other one for the same horsepower. So I think this one might be the better option. We can boost it up to 152, but I don't think we need to go that much. That's nearly as much as the JCB. So I think I'm going to go with this one. I will change the tyres though. Oh, that's going to be another 2,500. And maybe we'll just put standards on for now, save a little bit of money. We'll put that on to 100%. Beacon. Really, we should have a beacon, I think, on the right-hand side at least. Exhaust will keep standard. Extra work lights will keep off. Mud guards off. Front guard, keep that off. Air conditioning off. Attachers, we'll leave that off because I do want to put a front loader attacher on, although we're not going to use it just yet. Although actually, we'll leave that off until we need it, because then we can pay for it later. So we'll keep it as cheap as possible. So 44,600. So we'll buy that, and then we can use that to get our tedder we take back down to the farm. I always go out that way for some reason. It's the way the shop spawns you out. But there is our Ford 7810. A very, very nice model. And I've wanted to use one of these for a long time. I've just never really found the opportunity to fit it into a series. Yeah, we'll take the tedder back and we'll get the first grass field tedded, and then obviously we'll have to come back for the windrower. So let's get the PTO on, hoses connected, and yeah, we'll head back to the farm in our new Ford. get the beacon on, as we've just paid extra to have one fitted. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy using this tractor. It's one I've wanted to use for a while. Another one I'd love to see come back to FS22 is the TW. I remember using that fondly on Oakfield on FS17. It's been that long. Right, back down to our main farm again. We do some chicken dodging. Would be nice if the actual chickens, a bit like the deers, when you get close to the deers, they kind of like run away. Well, then I suppose with the way FS is set up, you're not really supposed to be able to drive into the animal enclosures. Is this way, isn't it? Yeah. I forgot where the field was then. Yeah, so we'll TED field 54, and then the field 55 will do for silage. So let's get this unfolded. Can turn our beacon off now. Get this gate closed as well so it's not in the way. Get our tedder started up. And there we go, making hay. Normally I wouldn't do hay this late, but obviously because we started in August, this is probably the latest we can probably do. Although technically in game you can do hay at any point as long as you can cut grass. It would be a job I would usually just do in the summer months. But yeah, a bit of early autumn hay and then some early silage as well. Right, last few rows to TED and that will be this field done. So the next job will be to rake up both of the fields and then we can get them baled up. I must say I've really enjoyed doing this job. I do find tedding quite satisfying to do in FS22, especially with the actual textures, the animation of the tedding as well. I think I've said it quite a few times, it does look very good. Yeah, so quite a nice relaxing job just to do in our new Ford tractor. So it's going to be interesting to see how many bales we get of each off these fields. They do look very similar size. So obviously we should get slightly less hay bales because of the large capacity. Well, yeah, same size but higher volume of hay into the actual bale. But yeah, the map is still amazing with the views as well. I must say, even on this, say the first day of autumn or first month of autumn we've done. I think I mentioned in the live stream as well, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the map changes as it goes through the seasons. So as we progress a bit more through autumn, to see how much the lighting changes and how the map looks overall. I know at times calms than in some times of the year. At certain times of the day it looked absolutely amazing, and I think this is just going to look even better. Let's get that switched off and folded up while we go and open the gate. I'll get the tedder put away. I'm undecided whether to keep the tedder or just return it, because really we're not going to probably use it again until summer next year, so I think it might not be worth keeping it on lease, although I do have the buy to lease mod, so any lease payments will help reduce the purchase price if we do decide to purchase it in the future. But I think as we've not got a huge amount of money at the moment and we've got the loan repayments to try and cover, I think it might be better to just return this now we finish with it, and then we can either buy our own next year if we've got more money, or lease another one. Yeah, I'll get this dropped off. I'll head up to the store and pick up the rake, and then we can start getting those fields raked up, ready for baling. Well, rake field 55 first, and then this time I will probably just put a worker on raking up field 54 while we then come and start baling this one up, as this one we're obviously doing for silage. Get that lowered down, and away we go with the leased Krona windrower. This is just one off Mod Hub, and again another mod I've not used before, so nice to try something different out. And our trusty old little Ford seems to have no problem with this. Yeah, as I mentioned last time as well, the plan for October will be to do some field prep, so we'll take soil samples of our fields. I'm not sure whether we'll buy a soil sampler or lease one. I think it may be cheaper to actually just pay for the soil samples to be taken for us this time, as we've only got a few fields to do, and I think the leasing cost plus then the actual cost of the soil samples themselves may work out more expensive than just paying to have them done for us this year. So we'll be able to find out what kind of soil we've got in our 2 arable fields, or 3 arable fields, because we've still got the soybeans, which I'm not sure if they'll be ready to harvest next month. And then maybe possibly in November. Yeah, we'll find out what soil types we've got in our field, and then how much lime we need to put on them, and then we can decide which crops to put in which fields for next year. Last little bit of this field to do. I just wanted to check. I don't think I have course play enabled. I was just thinking, well, I could set up course play for the next field or the worker, but I don't think I actually installed course play yet. So I'll just set off the normal worker and hopefully you'll not have too many issues. And while the worker gets on with that field, we'll get the JCB and the baler and start baling this one up. I'm just pretty sure the bale wrapper we got can do 150, so we'll double check that. I said I've not used the Govil trailed bale wrapper before. But nice to give that a try out as well, something from the Govil DLC. Let's get that switched off and folded up. So I will just double check because I don't want to do 180s. I'm pretty sure it does 125s, 150s. Right, so I've double checked and we can do 150s. So not the largest bales, but 150 silage bales is not too bad. So we can get that lowered down. Actually, I'll just reset the bale counter as well before we start. And that will get our grass all baled up. And so it's going to be interesting to see exactly how many we get off this field. But at least then, one thing I forgot is the I don't have the round bale extension mod, which automatically stops the baler. Well, that's the first grass bale out. And I will just double check that did actually come out at 150, because sometimes I've noticed when you change the size, the first one isn't. So it's showing 500 yet. 3,500 litres for a 125. Is it 5,500 for a 150 and then 7,500 for a 180 grass? I think we're all good, so we can crack on with the baling the grass. And I just got to remember I need to keep stopping when it's full. Okay, so we're on the last two strips of grass. There's a few little bits here and there to bale up, but we'll see if there's if we're close to getting another bale, I'll go and pick up those bits. If not, there's no point. So I'm not sure how many bales we've got just yet, but I would say it's a lot more than I was expecting. And I reckon we'll probably get another 3 off this last strip and this bit. Yeah, should be plenty of silage to keep us going if we do get some cows this year. So the worker has finished raking the other field. That's all ready. I've gone and done round the headlands to tidy that up, and I've picked up the bale wrapper from the store as well. So that's down here ready to go. So as soon as I finish this, I'm going to go and bale up the other field, so that's all done, and then we'll get these bales wrapped up so they can start fermenting. Now, will we get another bale, or is it going to be a little bit short? It's going to be very close. Yeah, I don't think there's going to quite be enough in this row, but we may be able to get enough from the few little bits that are still lying around. I think there's a fair bit over here that might finish filling the baler. See if we can get this one last grass bale and then we'll leave it there. It would help if I actually turn the baler on when I put the pickup down then. For 95%, surely we can get this last 4% now. $97. There's a little bit just over here, which should be enough. There we go. Get that switched off. So that's the last grass bale. So let's have a look. So we've got 39 grass bales in total. So I thought we'd probably only get like 20. That's nearly double what I was expecting, which I'm not complaining about. So yeah, I'm going to go and get the other field all baled up. This way, isn't it? I always get that wrong. I keep going down that one. That's into that field. Yeah, I'll get the hay all baled up so that's done. And then we'll just finish off getting those wrapped up. Okay, so we're well into the bale wrapping. Not quite sure how many bales we've done so far, because unfortunately there's Giants didn't seem to add a counter for the bale wrapping, just the balers themselves. We've got quite a few bales still over there to do. And I was having to think about potentially what we're going to do in terms of cows, and looking how much money we've currently got left, and with the loan payments we're going to have to remake. I just don't think we're going to have the money this in-game year to really invest in getting cows. So I think we'll be probably better off selling the silage bales once they're ready. And that'll give us a bit more money then to put towards some other equipment we need. Because we're still going to need to get a seed drill, spreader so we can spread lime. I'm not so fussed about mulching and rolling the fields this year, but we do need to plough both of our arable fields. So we will need to lease a plough at least as well to get those done. And then we're going to need something to fertilise and then put a crop in. So still got quite a lot we need to buy or lease. So I don't think cows would be a wise investment. Sheep are obviously a bit cheaper. They just take grass and hay. And I don't generally spend time doing hay to sell, because obviously silage is not really that much more effort than going the extra bit to ted a field. And obviously you can sell the silage for a lot more than you can sell hay for. So I may still get a few sheep and keep the hay for those, but sell the silage in a couple of months when it's ready. The only other thing at the moment we've really got that's going to make us any money from our own farm is the soybeans. Once they've been harvested, and their best price usually isn't until summer, so that's going to make it mean if we do sell that crop straight away, we're not going to get a huge amount from it. So the only other way we can really earn money is doing a few more contracts until we get our farm all set up, making money. So I think, how many is that? We've got 1, 2, 3, I think 4 bales after this one to do. And that'll be the silage all done. I will leave the bales, if we are going to sell these, I'm just going to leave them in the field rather than move them and then have to load them back up and move them again. And we probably won't do any more field work on the grass fields now until spring. So we'll probably get the pH sorted and fertiliser done in spring before it starts to regrow. Yeah, we really need to try and get to a point where we are making money from the farm. That's going to help with these loan repayments. Otherwise we're going to find ourselves in big trouble very soon. So I'm pretty sure this one is the last bale. Yeah, I can't see any more. I don't think it tells you in the statistics if you've wrapped bales for the session. Yeah, it's just saying bales produced, which is currently showing 35 because I've been out the game since we did the silage bales. So I think, yeah, we've got 28 hay bales in total, and then the 39 silage bales. But yeah, it doesn't show how many has been wrapped, so I can only presume we have done them all. Definitely can't see a random grass bale. So yeah, hopefully that's everything done. And we'll get this folded up. And again, we'll return this because we're not going to need it now. I've gone down the wrong one again. Every time I always end up going down that bit. It's so difficult to see this one there. Yeah, we'll return the bale wrap because I'm not going to use that again. If I do any baling contracts, I'll just borrow the equipment. Generally don't find it's a very good idea to use leased equipment to do contract work, because the amount of like working hours you put on and the extra costs that are put on then for the working hours on contract fields usually outweigh the profits. So we'll return this, and then say if we do any baling contracts, we'll just borrow the equipment from the farmers. For now though, I'm just going to leave this over here. So yeah, the next job we're going to need to do though is get the hay bales in at least, because I don't want to leave those out, although it doesn't really make much difference. It would be nice to get those into storage. Oh, I don't think I mentioned as well in the video earlier. If you watched the first live stream I did on here, I couldn't get the rabbits to work. I have now fixed that problem, so we can actually do rabbits now as well. I think it was a conflict with, I had an older version of the enhanced animal system installed, so I had to update that and then start a new save game to get the rabbits to show up and then transfer everything over. But yeah, that problem has now been fixed, so we can actually do rabbits. Okay, so let's start getting these hay bales loaded up. Ideally this probably would be better the other way around, with the JCB on the trailer and the Ford with the front loader, but until we can afford to get a front loader for that, we'll have to do it this way around. And I think this front loader on the Ford may be a little bit too big. We don't have far to pull them, so hopefully we should be okay. And they are only hay bales, which they're a lot lighter than their silage bales, which it definitely would struggle with. So there's the first of 28 hay bales. Okay, so we've got the last 10 bales on the trailer, so we just need to get these unloaded again and put into the bunker silo. And I said before, we'll leave the silage bales in the field until they've fermented, and then we'll get those sold. Which I think we've got around about 214,000 litres, I think, in total from the 39 bales. Which I think at the highest price is only going to be around about 60 60 odd thousand. So that's about three months worth of loan repayments. So it's not going to leave us much money for buying more equipment. So we definitely need to find other ways of making money, and very soon as well. Otherwise we are going to get into a big financial mess here on this farm. Yeah, could have probably done with bringing that trailer a little bit further forward. We'll get these this one in. And I probably would have been better flipping the bales over in the field, because I would have got an extra 2 on the trailer each time, rather than stacking them the way we did. As we having to flip them over anyway to stack them in here, would have made a little bit more sense. Yeah, we'll get the rest of these put away, and then I think we'll have to call it quits for today. Okay, so that's pretty much all the hay sorted and under cover. So it would be nice if they had that feature again where bales did actually kind of get ruined if they was left out in the rain and not under cover. There we go, 28 hay bales, and then we've got the straw in there as well. Which I'm also thinking as well, if technically if we're not going to be getting any cows this kind of year, we probably don't need the straw as well. So maybe if the straw price is better over winter, we'll look to sell those as well as the silage. Let's just get that switched off for there. So let's just have a quick look. I don't know how much the price fluctuates for straw, because normally I'll just, if I'm going to sell it, I'll sell it straight away regardless of the time of the year. So let's have a look. Yeah, so showing the highest prices in January, 88. That may change as we continue through the seasons, because this has got no previous year to go from. The current price, best price, is looking at 69. Yeah, maybe we'll get a little bit more if we hold on till January for the straw bales. We could sell those as well if we're not going to use them. There's a little point keeping them. But yeah, we'll get this put away, and then I need to go and edit this video so I can get it rendering and uploaded. So we'll leave it there for... I'll get my handbrake off. We'll leave it there for today. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, then please do consider subscribing. We've got more Farm Simulator 22 videos coming up, with the Let's Plays, time-lapse and live streams as well that we're doing. And I've got a few videos in the pipeline as well I've been trying to get done for a while. So hopefully I'll get those done soon. So keep an eye out for those. So again, a big thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you again. Goodbye.